Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what's the best job for a lazy person? Security guard. Source: been on Reddit the whole shift. I wonder how many people have snuck past you while you were on Reddit lol. Honestly, even if I wasn't on Reddit, it'd be stupid easy to sneak past me. According to my contract, I'm not allowed to stop people unless the badge reader doesn't recognize their card, in which case it beeps to let me know I need to walk over there and see what's going on. 90% of this job is buzzing guests in, 7% is writing my activity report, 12 o'clock, at post all okay, 1 o'clock, at post all okay, repeat ad nauseum, and the remaining 3% is deadbolting the door at the end of the night. Edit. Because apparently this is an issue for some of you, I will admit that 3% is probably an exaggeration of how long it takes to lock a door. However, I would like to backtrack and say that I feel the percentages are actually based on the amount of effort each task requires out of my total effort expended per shift, rather than the time taken to do it. In short, I am right, and y'all are a bunch of nerds who probably haven't even been rejected from the police academy like the real hero here, me. Back in college, I was a computer lab monitor. I just had to sit in the lab, and once every hour count the number of people there. If I was opening or closing the lab, there was about 15 minutes of work for that, but otherwise I could just surf the web or do my homework. I had this job in college. I did two things. Toward the end of the term, periodically yell. If you are on Bebo, Facebook, or any other non-academic site, please make room for students that need a computer. The printer also had a green button that needed to be pressed once a paper tray was depleted so it would draw from the other tray. There was a sign above the printer that said this, a sign on the printer that said this, and a sign by the queue to the printer. Still, I'd constantly have to deal with this issue. The printer's not working. Did you press the green button? Yes. So if I go over there and press the green button, nothing will happen. Yes. Inevitably I'd press the green button and it would start printing away. I still have no idea why this would always happen. The failure to read and then the lying about having pressed the button. But as far as jobs go, this was pretty sweet. Though more busy than a parking lot security guard, which is what I came in here to suggest. So if I go over there and press the green button, nothing will happen. Yes. Inevitably I'd press the green button and it would start printing away. Ah, I see you've already met the fucking public. I'm a backstage doorman at a Broadway theater. I sit around watching Netflix and Hulu and all that shit all day. If I'm feeling ambitious, I'll read a book or write some stand-up material. It's a pretty sweet gig and perfect for the laziest of people. Damn, I wanted to work as an actor on Broadway, but the superior job has just been sitting there the whole time. Some people were just born for this world while others struggle and never find a stronghold. I worked as a security guard for a trucking company on the weekends. The rest of the company conveniently didn't work weekends, so I had the whole place to myself. I worked 12-hour days and walked around a small wing of the property every hour and documented anything that was out of the ordinary. Almost nothing was ever out of the ordinary. Other than that, I didn't do anything. It was actually really boring because the guardhouse was outside of the Wi-Fi area, so I blew through my phone data really fast. To cure the boredom and ease my phone bill, I bought a portable DVD player and watched every DVD I had. Books. Surprisingly, management wouldn't let us read books. They said it was because you could get lost in a book and not be aware of your surroundings. Oddly enough, they had no problem with browsing on our phones or watching movies. I used to go to the factory where they make giant rotating machinery for power plant generators. It would take a week or more to machine these giant discs, and the machinist just sat there watching this giant, computer-operated machine do all the work. If an error popped up, the machine would stop, sound an alarm on the computer, and the machinist would pick up the phone and call an engineer to come fix it. Also, they didn't do any of the removal or setup, that was done by a team of engineers and transport folks. $30/hour. Where is this? I need a new machinist job. Edit. I've already gone through training and school for machining and make $20/hour making airplane and missile parts. Just wanted higher * paying job. Thanks for the advice and most upvoted comment I've ever had. Most likely a seniority position. Got to start by sweeping the floor for 2 years at minimum wage lol. There are a lot of weird jobs like this. My GFS dad sits in a room and watches like a dozen monitors for a specific alert. If the alert pops up, he phones somebody to notify of the alert. And that's it. He makes $100,000 plus. Worth mentioning, this job requires a high-level security clearance though, so that's why he makes so much, I would imagine. Do you date Lisa Simpson? Okay, so this is usually what's called a system operations job. Industries such as manufacturing, refineries, chemical plants, power plants, natural gas pipeline distribution, and the electrical grids across the US will utilize a control system with operators to monitor/control them. And yes, they make a lot of money to mostly catch alarms and notify technicians to go and fix/troubleshoot issues. Most of these positions require a high level of security clearance, because these guys usually not only monitor everything in the system of where they are working, but also can control it. And there is the reason these guys get paid so much. They have the power to trip power plants and get them running again, to open and close breakers that provide electricity to customers, to keep production in manufacturing at its peak, to shut in the valves on gas pipelines to prevent feeding natural gas to a site with a leak. To be a system operator, you typically need at least an associate's degree in process control, instrumentation, automation, or electrical power and control. They also usually have pretty brutal shift work and have to work nights. That being said, the guys I work with all clear 100 Kelvin/Y are here in Texas. Source, works in control systems. I'm an analyst. I taught myself a bunch of stuff, and spent a bunch of time automating things because I'm too lazy to do them every day/week/month. Also, you can't go to him. I am only human. The person that sit on a chair in the museum. They just sit there in one of the most quiet places I've visit. And when a person stands too close to one artwork, they just cough a little and tell you to step back. Though a friend in college once had this job and he said that it was so boring there was no way he could keep at it for very long. I had this job at a fairly popular museum. My duties included clicking a counter every time someone came in and telling them not to touch the art. I wanted to basically die after a while. Lifeguard at the Olympics. You need to be pretty lazy in the first place to get that job, though. A guy on the surveying crew has the job of watching a surveying GPS unit all day. He gets dropped off with the unit, sets it up and sits there and makes sure it doesn't get stolen and that the blue light is still on. That's all he does every day, day after day. He thinks his job is the greatest thing ever. You can also work your ass off surveying though. I used to do it. Can confirm. The days of chopping hundreds of feet of line through thick woods and brush or hammering in a couple hundred construction hubs and stakes really wear you down. Find a remote data entry job and outsource it to someone who will do it for cheaper. Let them do your job and just collect the difference. A Verizon programmer outsourced his job and just Reddited all day. Did anything happen to him after he was discovered? Removed. Not overnight, but the most pointless job I ever encountered was at a Nation grocery and kitchen store in Chinatown in NYC. There was a basement level with its own checkout, but they no longer used it. One guy's job was to sit at the lower level checkout, and when guests came up to pay, he told them, by pointing, to use the first floor checkout. Damn. They could literally put a sign that said the exact same thing there. A lot of it related office jobs * at big companies involve a lot of downtime for one reason or another, where you're just sitting around waiting for work to come in. Just be careful what you wish for. I did a 6-month work placement at a place doing QC on medical data entry. It was as riveting as it sounds, and due to poor management there were massive stretches of time, like more than a solid week, where there was nothing for us to do. We were literally begging for work because we were so fucking bored. If someone had asked me to start hoovering the carpets, I would have jumped at the chance. * creative IT jobs like the video games and special effects industries are major exceptions. Can confirm. I work IT for a couple car dealerships and it was literally just me checking out Reddit waiting for work to come in. I maybe had an issue once or twice a week that took me no more than an hour to figure in most cases. The only reason it's work now is because they decide to open up more dealerships that I have to manage and everything needs to be set up. There are a lot of things to do now. Sigh. Was good while it lasted. Lol. I am currently in my IT office at a car dealership browsing Reddit waiting for something to stop working. I've considered randomly disconnecting phones and PCs just to have something to do. Tollbooth worker. In middle school I had a classmate who did a 4-week internship at a company where they sent him to the gateman. We had some forms to fill for our report in school and this guy just wrote the most awesome stories the gateman had to tell about his job. My favorite was, "When I'm bored, and I am damn often bored, I act entitled and punish those drivers who ring the bell angrily. I then let them wait for an extra 20 seconds before I let them in." Answering my classmate's question, "What was the most critical situation at your job?" The gateman said, "I once went to the toilet. It was one of these boring Friday afternoons where no fucking body comes in as folks are home early. When I came back, I found one of our customers with his whole fucking entourage queuing up at the gate. 3 fucking vehicles. I dropped my newspaper and hit that gate open button like it could save my life and boy it did. They just drove past my booth. Lucky me. And that's the story when my bowel movement almost cost me my job. When I'm bored, and I am damn often bored, I act entitled and punish those drivers who ring the bell angrily. I then let them wait for an extra 20 seconds before I let them in. You can sit there slowly aging. You can ring the bell irate. And you might be madly raging. But I'm keeper of the gate. You can get all agitated. You can curse your fury fate. And you might be aggravated. But I'm keeper of the gate. You can blast my name on Twitter. You can argue and berate. And you might be getting bitter. But I'm keeper of the gate. You can sit there busy hating. 'Cause you know it's getting late. For you might be sick of waiting. But I'm keeper of the gate. This was my fucking dream job, but then they started replacing toll booths with automatic license plate readers. Hell, in Massachusetts, they don't even tell you about the tolls anymore. They just have random toll gates that read the plates, and if you don't have EZ Pass I guess you get a bill or something. I don't have my EZ Pass mounted, so it's just like, oh shit, another one coming, hold it up.